572 ounces.
It's probably like 5 ounces an hour.
Yeah.
That's better than when we have 2 plants running.
This is the best cut we have ever run.
That is nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
Parker Schnabel struck gold. Big time. Over 1,000 ounces of it. It all started when he and his team stumbled onto a hidden mine, one packed with ancient secrets and untouched treasure. This wasn't just a lucky find. It was like hitting the jackpot without even trying. Let's dive into the story. Picture this. Parker and his crew uncover an old mine, abandoned long ago. Its gold just sitting there, waiting for someone bold enough to claim it. They couldn't believe their eyes. Thick veins of shiny gold ran through the rock, untouched by time. No rusty tools, no toxic mercury, just pure raw gold begging to be taken. They got to work fast, pulling out treasure at a crazy pace. In total, a mind-blowing 77,381 ounces. Unreal, right? But here's where it gets wild. The deeper they dug, the weirder things got. Strange tools, creepy markings, and eerie signs popped up, like a warning from the past saying, "Stay out." Parker, though, he's not the type to back down from gold. So they kept going, even as the vibes turned spooky. Then they found it. Something that flipped the whole adventure upside down. At first, the mine seemed like a dream come true. Walls gleaming with gold. No fancy machines needed. Just them and the earth. They even pulled over 100 grams in just a few hours. Simple, efficient, and almost too easy. It felt like they were stealing from history itself. But something wasn't right. The deeper they went, the more questions piled up. Who left this gold behind? And why didn't they ever come back for it? Parker started thinking about a story his grandpa once told him. About a day when he'd hauled 42 ounces of gold in just hours, only for things to take a strange turn. A weird sound came from the ground, and suddenly, it wasn't just about the gold anymore. This mine wasn't like the others. No frozen ground, no million-dollar equipment, just a growing sense of unease. They thought they were digging for riches, but they'd uncovered something way bigger, something that wasn't meant to be found. And it wasn't all smooth sailing. Mixed in with the treasure was a ton of waste. Big, coarse rocks, some spots with 5 or even 8 feet of junk to sift through. Parker wasn't sure how long it'd take to clear it all. Then, just when they hit what should have been the best part, they found proof they weren't the first ones there. Someone else had been in that mine before, and they'd left in a hurry. Meanwhile, another miner nearby wasn't so lucky. He'd sunk everything into one hole, chasing bedrock and burning through cash faster than he could find gold. It was a risky gamble, the kind Parker knew could turn fortunes to dust in a heartbeat. Watching it unfold, Parker couldn't help but wonder how close he was to the same fate. Here's the twist. When his team started clearing the site, they realized this wasn't just some forgotten mine. It was a mystery, and a dangerous one at that. Parker had found more than gold. He'd dug up a story that might have been better left buried. This mine was like a time capsule, locked away in history. As Parker Schnabel and his team dug in, they spotted old tunnels carved into the pit walls, shafts left behind by miners from long ago. These weren't modern workings. They were the marks of the old-timers. But something was off. The rock formations didn't match today's geological maps, and the tools they found, way too advanced for back then. Stranger still, something had been left behind. Something that might be worth more than gold. Downstream, others had spent millions chasing riches, scooping dirt from riverbanks like it was a sure thing. Every scoop was a gamble, fortune or failure in an instant. Parker knew that game well. He'd been in tough spots before. But this mine? It had a weird vibe, like it was whispering about the miners who'd come and gone, leaving warnings in the dirt. Still, Parker's gut told him to keep digging. To him and his crew, this felt like the dream gold mine they'd always wanted. Why would anyone abandon a place this rich? Their plan was simple: mine as much as they could while figuring out the mystery. But the deeper they went, the shakier the ground got. Then they hit bedrock, the make-or-break layer, and there it was, gold. More than they'd dreamed of, more than anyone around had found in years. But the real shock wasn't the gold. It was what came with it. Artifacts, strange markings, signs that didn't fit any known mining story. Someone had been here way before modern times, and they'd left a secret behind. Parker wasn't sure he wanted to know what it was. He had the gold in hand, but now he faced a choice: take the win and leave, or keep digging, chasing something bigger and riskier. He'd spent his life mining, but some treasures aren't meant to be touched. Some mines are empty for a reason. The discovery split the crew. Some wanted to call in historians and archaeologists to study it properly. Others said, "No way. Let's dig deeper, grab every ounce of wealth and wisdom this place has." Tensions rose fast. Meanwhile, the ancient supports in the tunnels, never built for today's heavy digging, started to crack. Dust choked the air as a wall collapsed. Caught between the rush of the find and the weight of what it meant, Parker had to decide. Quick. Time was running out. The mine wasn't stable, and the stakes were higher than ever. Oh, and if this story's got you hooked, hit that subscribe button. We've got more coming. Suddenly, boom, a chunk of the mine caved in. The way out was blocked, and Parker Schnabel and his crew had to scramble. This wasn't just about digging through rock anymore. It was a race against time, battling an Earth that had kept its secrets buried for centuries. Parker wasn't even sure if they were chasing gold or answers at this point. His crew was worn out and tense, but they kept going. They all felt it. This was bigger than anything they'd ever tackled. Still, one question nagged at them. Were they ready for what was coming? Days stretched into weeks. Every ounce of gold they pulled out reminded them how high the stakes were. They found artifacts, too. Old, mysterious stuff they cataloged but couldn't quite figure out. Each piece left them with more questions than answers. Then, just as they were about to call it quits, they hit something wild. A hidden chamber, sealed tight, untouched for ages. What was inside? It flipped everything they thought they knew. This wasn't just a gold mine. It was ancient, lost to time. Parker faced a huge choice: grab the gold and walk away rich, or dive deeper into the unknown, risking his life and his crew's. By now, mining wasn't just about treasure. It was about survival, discovery, and rewriting history. This wasn't Parker's first brush with making history, though. Back in the early days, he and his crew jumped into the gold rush with big dreams and zero experience. That first season? Brutal. They scraped together just 15 ounces, nowhere near the jackpot they'd hoped for. Bad luck and tough lessons nearly crushed them, but they didn't give up. They went all in for round 2. Even when they lost their claim, they didn't sulk. They hustled over to Quartz Creek and clawed out nearly 100 ounces. Proof they weren't out of the game. Parker, the teenage mining hotshot, was starting to turn heads. The veterans noticed. Meanwhile, the Hoffman crew wasn't playing around either, hauling in over 800 ounces, a massive leap from their rookie days. But Parker wasn't relying on luck anymore. It was all about guts, strategy, and knowing when to swing big. He pushed hard and pulled in over 1,000 ounces, sending a loud message. The competition got fierce. Todd Hoffman's crew had their best season yet, but Parker's Rise was stealing the spotlight. He smashed it with over 2,500 ounces, while the Hoffmans fought back with nearly 1,400. This wasn't amateur hour anymore. It was a full-on gold war. Every move mattered, every slip-up hurt, and every win felt personal. Want more? Subscribe now and jump into the hunt for lost treasures, hidden riches, and epic gold stories.